How's your body? How's your heart? I hope that you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome and or welcome back to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that everything is going well because you deserve it. Just so you know, I don't know if you know that, but you do. I am so excited to be doing this video because I love these reset videos. I love how they're turning out. There's a couple things I need to tweak a little bit, but I am enjoying filming these. You already saw some clips of me getting some things prepared for y'all, so let's go ahead and go over what to expect in this video. You saw the clips of me setting up my reading journal, in which I will show y'all that later on. There'll be like a little flip through for the month of February. I'll also show you a flip through of my personal bullet journal, the customized bullet journal. I will show you a flip through of that as well. I roll a D12 for the gods, the dice gods, to tell me how many books I can buy in the month of February or whatever month we're doing this. So you'll see that as well. And then we're going to talk about the pre-orders that I have for the month that we're in, so the month of February. And then what's newly put into the reset videos is the wrap up of the previous month, because I know that I do TBRs every month. By the way, the TBR for February is already up. It came up yesterday. I'll link it down below and up top if you want to check that out. But anyways, I do a TBR every month. And I noticed that when I do TBRs, I never talk about the books that I read that are either on my TBR or not on my TBR. We're going to do a little bite-sized wrap-up so y'all know. And we could talk about like pages and how many books and so forth, so forth. So a whole bunch of stats and everything. Just for y'all, okay? And the best and the worst of the month that we're talking about. And then I'll go ahead and show you the journals and everything, and then we're done. We're done. So this is gonna be a little quick, hopefully, hopefully quick video, but also a fun video for us to just reset for the next month, which is February, which is Black History Month. So I'm really, really excited. Let's talk. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and put a clip up over my face of me rolling the dice to see how many books I can buy in the month of February. I have 7 pre-orders, so I needed to at least roll a 7, and I did better. I rolled a fucking 10. Oh, I'm so happy. The issue that's going to happen, though, I can already tell, is that in the later months I'm gonna have more pre-orders than what is on the D12. Like, I'll have more than 12 pre-orders, and in that case we're gonna have to figure that out. So you saw that I rolled a 10, so we're gonna go ahead and talk the books that I pre-ordered for the month of February. I'm gonna go ahead and move over a little bit so I can put them up on the screen. The first book that we're gonna talk about is also the book that comes out on the 1st of February, and that is Voiced Like a Hyacinth. Hyacinth? Sorry. Anyways, this is by Mallory Pearson, and from what I recall, this is supposedly some type of dark academia book, but also it's about some students resorting to the occult to unlock their creativity and to curse their esteemed, if notoriously creepy, professor. So I heard about this, I want to say in one of, like, it was like a TikTok video when I was on TikTok. I'm no longer on TikTok, but it was when I was on TikTok. And I know that this is like a horror, fantasy, queer book. So that's exciting. I'm super excited about it. It comes out on the 1st of February, and I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble because I don't think Waterstones had any type of exclusive edition of it, as far as I saw. So I want to apologize in advance if you heard some noise outside. Somebody's working on their car or something. I closed the window, so hopefully you won't be able to hear it anymore. But if you can, I apologize in advance. The next book that we're going to be talking about is Enemy of My Dreams by Jenny Williamson. And this comes out on the 4th of February. So I saw this cover and instantly was like, I gotta have it. Gotta have it. But from what it looks like, it is set in the last days of the Roman Empire. A desperate princess and a brutal goth warlord forge a dangerous alliance. I believe they're going to work together to try to take over some shit. It says romance, historical fiction, and it says romantasy, and it says fantasy. So we'll definitely see, but I'm really excited about it, and hopefully I can get to this probably in the month of March, but we'll definitely see. This comes out on the 4th of February, and I ordered this from Barnes & Noble because I do not believe Waterstones had an exclusive, and if they did, I didn't like the cover or something. So got it from Barnes & Noble. The next book we're going to talk about is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Y'all sure I knew that this was going to be on the list because I love Ali Hazelwood. Like, her books are crack to me. I got to have them. Whole ass crack addict. It's crazy. This comes out on the 4th of February. I'm really, really excited. I don't know much about this besides the fact that it's a romance, and I believe it's about some type of swimming student athlete. but does not matter. I was gonna buy it anyways, and you can kind of tell that it's about some type of swimmer or something because there's water and stuff. What if they having sex in the pool? Go off. I love it. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully I can read it soon. I've read most of Allie Hazelwood's books, besides I have not read Check and Mate yet, which is her YA book. Haven't read Love on the Brain or Not in Love. I haven't read those 3 books, but I've read everything else by her. The next book I'm going to talk about is Wings of Starlight, and this is by Allison Saft. I have loved the one book that I read by Allison Saft. I do have another one written by them, but this one is a Disney retelling of Tinkerbell. This comes out on the 4th of February. I pre-ordered this from Barnes & Noble because I did not see one on Waterstones, if I recall correctly. I should definitely check again. But from what it looks like it's a standalone, and it's about Tinkerbell. It says fantasy, romance, young adult, it says retelling, and it says romantasy, and it says fae, obviously. So I am very excited. I'm not the hugest fan of Tinkerbell personally, but I feel like if anybody can do like a really good romantasy of like a Disney character, it would be Allison Saft. Like, I really like her work. I have not read, it's another one of Allison Saft's books. I haven't read that one yet. I'm not a fan of the cover, and it was a Lumicrate pick, but it's fine. Anyways, the next book I'm going to talk about comes out February the 11th, and that is Skin by E.B. Du Bois. I want to say that that's how you pronounce that, but I'm not exactly sure. I had a hard time finding it when I was pre-ordering it at Barnes & Noble, because they was like, is the parentheses in there or not? I was like, I think so. I don't know for sure. All I know about this is that it is a contemporary fantasy, and it's in verse, and it's based on Caribbean folklore. Like, that's it. That's all I know. And to be completely honest, I saw this cover and was like, say fucking less. And I love a book that's in verse, so that's really cool. So I'm really excited about this. It comes out on the 11th of February, and I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble. You actually saw that, actually. It was on the list that I gave to the Barnes & Noble worker in my Do Bookish Things With Me vlog. I went to Barnes & Noble and pre-ordered my February books, and that was one of the books. So, this next book comes out the day before Valentine's Day, so the 13th of February, and that is Cursebound, Sada El Arifi. And this is the second book after Faybound. Look. Look, I can already hear y'all now like, Princess, have you read Fae? No, I haven't. It does not fucking matter. I don't need you all up in my business. So I did pre-order the Waterstones edition because I have a Waterstones edition of Faybound. So that's why mostly I'm buying it. I try not to buy second books in series, but if I have a Waterstones exclusive, like, I don't want to miss out on a chance of getting it, so I will just pre-order it and such. I have not read Faybound, but I heard nothing but amazing things about it. So I'm looking forward to reading it. It's just I have to keep up with my set, okay? I have to keep up with the ones that I have, and if that means I gotta pre-order a second book in a series that I ain't even started yet, oh fucking well. I'm not gonna scroll down to see what this book is about because then I will spoil myself. So we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go to the next book. Last but not least of the books on my pre-order list, I have Rebel Witch, and this is by Kristen Ciccarelli. This comes out on the 27th of February, and this is the second one. Second one in the series. So hear me out. I have not read The Crimson Moth. Is that what it's called? I have the UK edition of the first one, so I have to have the UK edition of the second one. So I did pre-order this from Waterstones. I look, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to love it because it's like a witch hunter type of story, and I know that. The point in the matter is that I have to get it. I have to get it. Like, I'm sorry, it has to be done. So that is the last book that I pre-ordered. Okay, I'm going to stay over here for the wrap up because I'm going to put the stats on the screen. Okay, so for the month of January, I read 8 books, which was 3,052 pages read, 37 and a half hours listened, with an average rating of 3.81, and I bought 12 books, which there will be a haul coming out next week, so you'll see those. I have 5 library books. I actually have more than that. I need to update that, but I have more than that out. I had 2 rereads. I started 5 series, and 5 of the 8 books were diverse of some some way or form. I had 1 3.5 star, 5 4 stars, 1 3.75 stars, and 1 3.25 star. So as you can see, my worst book was a 3.25, which we'll talk about, and my best book was a 4 star, but in all actuality it's probably a little higher than that, but you know, it's fine. We're gonna go through this fast because I don't like doing wrap-ups really, but we're just gonna go through this fast, every book I read and kind of what I thought about it. The first book I read was A Magic Steeped in Poison. This is by Judy I. Lin. This is the first book in a duology. This is about a girl who goes into a competition in which to be like the court tea seeper and our tea maker, I guess. The magic system is of the tea making. Like you can kind of like compel people to do kind of what you want. You can kind of see into the future and everything. It's really, really cool. There's this war going on and there's like this emperor who is dead or not dead. Nobody really knows. And there's like a slight romance, kind of, it's very, very little. But I do have the second one in the duology out from the library. I did not get a chance to read it yet. I gave this book a 3.75. I liked it enough to continue on to the second one through getting it from the library, but I didn't like it enough to keep it. Like, I'm not going to reread this. I highly recommend if you want to read something of like a different type of magic style than what we're used to, like the tea seeping and like the training to that is very, very interesting. And I do enjoy the world as well and all the politics. So that was really cool. Oh, I'll be unhauling this. I don't know if I made that clear. Next, I read A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya, and I gave this a 4 star. This is the book I read for my little friend book club type thing. And Paco is the one who chose this book, and he also has an interview with this author. So I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. But this is like a vampire hunter type of story. I loved the culture aspect of this, how Angela tied in like how the vampires were made and the god that they're attached to and the afflictions of a vampire, how that ties into like the god history, as well as like the, I don't want to say like Mexican culture, but like the Hispanic culture of it, like was really, really, really fucking cool. I did not like the ending of this. Did not like the ending of this at all, but it's a standalone, and I do highly suggest any of that sounds interesting, like that dynamic of a vampire to vampire hunter. Like, I don't want y'all to go into this thinking that it's going to have like some type of romance, like especially like some type of not steamy but like intense romance like Serpent and Dove, because that is not the fucking case in this. But I really, really like this. I like this to read anything else that she writes, but I will not be keeping this book because I'm not going to reread it. Next we have A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher. She's one of my favorite authors, but this book was just not for me. I do not like her thriller so far. I love her fantasy because she has like this dark overlay to her fantasies, but this one in particular is just, it was really strange. It was really weird. I didn't like how it ended. Like, the main character was hilarious, and I love that the main character breaks the fourth wall sometimes and talks to you as like the reader and such, but outside of that, like, it was whatever. I gave this a 3.25, and this is my worst book of the month of January. So this follows a girl who is like, I don't want to say like necessarily like an archaeologist, but kind of, I guess. A scientist is the point. And she goes home to where she was raised, in her grandmother's house, because she's in between jobs at the moment. And there's like some creepy stuff that's happening in this house, and her mom is acting extremely different than what she remembers. And like, there is like some racial stuff in here, so go in there, be prepared with that and everything. I wouldn't necessarily say possession necessarily, but there was like some stuff going on there, and if you know me, you know I don't like any of that. So I'm just not a fan of her thriller horror, so I will not be continuing on with any of her thriller horror. I unhauled this, as well as, I want to say it's called The Twisted Ones or something. So yeah, but it was fine. I read this for Winterween, so there's that, but I will not be reading any more of her thriller horror books. Next, I reread The Assassin's Blade. I gave this 4 stars. I loved it. Like, I tabbed it up. I made some notes. I'm really excited to continue on doing that. I'm not going to go much into this besides the fact that this is a prequel to Throne of Glass. So this is set before Throne of Glass, and there's 5 stories in here. I highly recommend people starting with this. I know like the romantic part of this is to read this after what, book 3 or book 2 or something like that. But I read this first when I first read it, and I read it first again for my reread. I will continue on with this series because it was in my 6th series for 2025. So if you want to check out that video, I'll link it down below and up top for you. But I love this. It was great. It was amazing. So I was happy. Next we have An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. This was another reread for me. This series is also in that video I just mentioned earlier. So this book, I don't really want to go into what this book's about. Every time I talk about these books, I mention what it's about and such. So I just would rather not. I would rather not. I gave it 4 stars. It was amazing. I will be continuing. A torch in the night, a torch against the night, whatever the second one is called. I'll be reading that in the month of February. So there's that. Next, I read the comic Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Lies, and I read this to hit the Buzzwordathon prompt, which is lies and truth. I gave this a 3.5, and it was very interesting to see like a different aspect of Wonder Woman. I don't read very many comics, so I can't speak on that. I did really like the art style, and if I was to continue, I would just get it from Hoopla like I did this time. But it was really interesting, and it was interesting to see like her love interest that is a person that she's always kind of been like circling, but they just never got together and stuff. So that was really cool too. And also like somebody breaking a curse. I don't want to go more into it because it's not very long. So if you are interested in Wonder Woman, I recommend. Take that recommendation with a grain of salt because I don't read very many comics, so there's that. Next, we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, which is the first book in the Legend something cycle. Legend something cycle, I don't remember what it's called. But I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. Like, it was very fascinating and started like fairly quickly. Like, shit popped off extremely quickly. There were definitely parts in here where I was just like, bitch, because there was like some racial stuff going on. I really like Brie as a character. She's very hot-headed, but she is very fucking stubborn, and she does not listen, which I understand because she's young. I want to say she's like 17, 18, something like that. Something in that case. But I loved this book. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed, what the fuck is his name? I love Nick. Love Nick, hands down. He's amazing. Love him. Last but not least, I have it in here, and this is Heavenly Bodies. I am giving this 4 stars, but that's like tentative because I'm not all the way done with it. But I will be done by the 31st. But this, I am loving this so much. I'm loving this so much. This, I can already tell, this is going to be the best book of January. So much so that I will definitely need to get my hands on the rest of them. So this is Heavenly Bodies, I'll put it up and stuff, is a romantasy book, and it's about a girl who is a princess and her family is killed by a god, and then she gets kidnapped and taken to like a neighboring empire type place in which an enemy of her empire, and she's kidnapped, and then the king of this place is like, hey, you know, I kidnapped you because I'm pretty sure that god that killed your family is after you. So why don't you stay here and train with my son, the prince, and we're going to work together to kill a star, a god. And oh my gosh, the tenseness between those two. I love it. I love it. I'm in love. But anyways, yeah. That by far is the best book of January. It's the 27th, so there's that. Okay, so that is y'all bite-size wrap up. So now y'all know exactly the books that I read in January, how many pages I read, what my best and or worst was, and all that good stuff. So this is something that will be continued on into the next reset as well, and all the resets going forward. But let me know what y'all think. But okay, let's go ahead and go into the flip through of both my personal bullet journal as well as my reading journal. And I will see y'all back here after that. Okay, so here is my reading journal. And we are going to flip to February, which is right here.
So here we have the time off, in which there's a paid holiday on the 17th, and I'm taking off the 18th, and I'm already off on this Friday being Valentine's Day. So that's what this line is time off. And then I have the Buzzwordathon word here, which is a water word. And then I have all my videos planned out for the month right here. And then here is my TBR, in which I've already done my TBR. I think I linked it below already. So there's my TBR. Here are the books that I'm buying, which I've already talked about. And then here we have the 3rd through the 9th. And then here is just like some slight to-do list stuff. And here, this is new. I'm going to start putting my TBR for the week right here, or down here somewhere. And then I need to start putting like some notes right here or something. I do need to check Fable of the book clubs that I'm in to see if there's something going on. But anyways, then here's the 10th through the 16th. And then here's my TBR for the week. I have Throne of Glass, Truth Witch, and the Queen's Spade. And then once we get here, I'll start putting like to-do stuff for the week right here. And then here we have the 17th through the 23rd. And then here are some things I need to do desperately. I have a video project that I desperately need to get to, as well as return some books to the library because they're due at the end of the month and are around this time. And I need to read the book club book, which is A Sorceress Comes to Call, something like that. And then here's the 24th through the 2nd of March. And here are some important books I need to desperately get to as well. I have Lady of Darkness, Lady of Shadow, and A Torch Against the Night. And then back here, we have the highlight of the 10 books that I can buy. And then here's the reading wrap up. I already did my wrap up for January, but I do need to come back here and update this. I got all the stats that I showed earlier off of my spreadsheet, but I do need to put that in here as well. So yeah, that is the reading journal. And then back here, I have the reviews. I do need to go through and fill some back in, but I have like the books that I read all right here up until this one. I need to put in the rest of these, but yeah. And that is the reading journal reset for the month. Here we have my personal bullet journal. So I'm going to go to February, and I'm really excited for y'all to see this because y'all get to see like the spreads. But here's the spread for February. It's so cute. I love it so much. It's so cute. And then here's the paid holiday right there. And then here is the month layout. Here are some goals as well as some tasks on this side. And I have like some appointments. I already have my every other Friday off on here and stuff, which consists of that. And then I have the V's for the videos. I need to start integrating more Instagram stuff, but anyways. And then here's the first week. It is so cute. I love it so much. And then the second week, in which I already have like stuff in here, like start filming stuff. The third week, and the fourth week. This is so cute. I love it. And then it goes into March, which you'll see March when we do our March reset. So yeah, this was done by Rachel, which I will link down below. And that is everything. That is my personal bullet journal and my reading journal. So yeah, see you later. Bye.
Okay, so now that y'all seen all of that, we're at the end. We're at the end of the video. I don't know how long this is going to be. I was hoping that it wouldn't be long. But with adding the bite-sized wrap-up, it probably is a little longer than what I would like it to be. But nevertheless, it'll be fine. But I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Let me know down below what your best and or worst book was in the month of January. Let me know. I gots to know. Let me know if you read any of the books that I'm talking about or any of that. And you can just leave like an emoji if you would like. If you don't want to say anything at all, then you can just do that as such. That's fine too. Either way it goes, I'll put down below all the books I talked about. out, as well as Rachel, who made my personal bullet journal, and the place that I got my reading journal from. I'll link all that stuff down below for you, and you can check that out. But okay, thank you so much for being here. I love you. Okay, cool, bye.